Welcome to the Chatham Chamber of Commerce 2020 annual meeting. The theme of this year's meeting is entrepreneurship and navigating through crises. We have an interesting meeting in store for you and hope that you will enjoy it. Thank you for your time in attending. I'd like to thank our sponsors for helping to make this event possible. Chatham Hospital is our presenting sponsor. Carolina Meadows is our program sponsor. Summit Design and Engineering is our chamber partner sponsor who is sponsoring on behalf of one of our award recipients. We have several award sponsors: BB&T, Now Truist, Duke Energy, Fidelity Bank, and Meltner Farms. I would now like to introduce Jeff Nischwitz of the Nischwitz Group, who will be our keynote speaker. Jeff is the founder and chief story debunker of the Nischwitz Group, a speaking, consulting, and coaching company that transfers people and organizations one story at a time. Jeff helps businesses accelerate revenue, develop effective leaders, nurture high-performing teams, and execute on their objectives. Beginning as a successful lawyer, Jeff first modeled courageous change when he left the corporate law firm where he was a partner to take a leap into entrepreneurship by creating his own law firm. After building and growing that firm into a Northeast Ohio success story, Jeff did what few dare to even consider. He left what he knew and which was successful to go in search of his true calling. For Jeff, getting by merely succeeding without loving it was just not acceptable. Like many entrepreneurs, Jeff's journey had many twists, turns, and yes, stumbles. After several years of trying to fit into the traditional corporate and business world, Jeff once again leaped into faith and founded Think Again, which has evolved into the Nischwitz Group. Please welcome Jeff Nischwitz.
Hello, Chatham Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, Cindy, for having me back. I'm so excited to be here with you, all of you chamber members, for your annual meeting. I wish I could be in person, as I have been a couple of times over the last 3 or 4 years. I know many of you by sight and certainly miss some good friends there. Hello, Judy. I definitely miss seeing you. So I'm excited to kick off your annual meeting and to be invited to this opportunity to share with you just a few minutes of some thoughts, which today are going to be about leadership and disruption. Big surprise, right? Not that we've had some sort of disruption this year. And that's why I'm especially honored to be back here to be your keynote speaker in the year of the pandemic. And not only the pandemic, but so much other disruption that has happened during this year. Now, if you remember me at all, you know that I would have this with me today, my snow globe. I won't go into the whole story, but you know that the snow globe is about shaking things up. Because what I've learned is that just like snow globes, which are meant to be shaken, and the only magic happens when we shake them, our own snow globes need to be regularly shaken, whether it's our leadership snow globe, or it's our life snow globe, or our relationship snow globe. Because if not, what we know is that as soon as we stop shaking, the snow globe and everything around us immediately starts to settle. And that's what happens. We settle in our leadership, we settle in our business, we settle in our relationship, we settle in our very lives. But the magic is in the shaking. Now, I know what you're thinking. Many of you are saying, Jeff, come on. I've been shaken enough this year. I don't need a snow globe to shake. I've been shaken from the outside this year. And that's absolutely true. You have been. You have been shaken and disrupted during this tumultuous and epic time. It's also been a great opportunity to learn, grow, and create. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. But here's what I've realized during this pandemic. Yes, we've all been shaken externally. Call it external disruption. But in that time, not only is this permissible, but the shaking, the internal disruption, the intentional disruption that we create is just as important, maybe even more important. Because when disruption happens around us, we must be willing to disrupt ourselves, or otherwise we will be overwhelmed and consumed by that external disruption. So I'm here to tell you, it is certainly time to continue to shake your snow globe today and going forward till the end of time. Continue to shake things up. Now, here's one thing you need to hear about disruption. Most of us have changed. In fact, if any of you have not changed something in your business or life the last 8 or 9 months, I'd like to hear how you managed to avoid it. The truth is we've all had disruption and we've all reacted to that. We've adapted to that. We've done things we needed to do as a result of that external disruption. But what I'm going to tell you is that is not innovation, because innovation has 3 important traits. One is innovation is purposeful. Secondly, innovation is intentional. And third, innovation requires a commitment. So the changes you made as a reaction to the pandemic, perhaps if you have team members, you have them now working remotely and from home. That was an adaptation to the situation, to the external disruption. But it only becomes an innovation if you choose intentionally, purposefully, and with commitment to carry that forward. And it becomes part of your culture. It becomes of your way of thinking and leading and doing business. That's what innovation is. The same is true of learning. People keep saying, well, we're going through this experience, so I'm learning a lot. I'm not convinced, because what I believe is that learning also happens very purposefully, intentionally, and with a commitment to that learning and that commitment to that self-assessment. Sometimes this shaking up that needs to happen. All of us have had a unique experience this year, personally and professionally, but whether we learn from it is up to us. And whether we innovate through it is up to us. And whether we create through it is up to us. Innovation and learning are not defaults from the experience. They come from claiming the experience, acknowledging the experience, taking a look at how we were in that experience and in that disruption, and choosing to do and think and see differently going forward. Choosing to do, think, and see, as in perspectives, differently going forward. So here's what the big takeaway for me has been during the pandemic, which we can use now and in all times. And that is the importance of staying in gear. I call it declaring a no waiting zone. And that's what I want to talk to you about the rest of my time. You see, so many people in business during the pandemic have been waiting for things to get back to normal. Those first 6 weeks, people can't wait for things to get back to normal. Turns out they didn't, did they? Not when we thought. And then we said, well, now we're in the next normal. And the next normal and the new normal would change every day. The truth is we have an attachment to normal, and I'm not sure that's a good thing, because normal has one thing going for it. It's comfortable. And that's not what business and entrepreneurship and leadership is about. It's not about comfort. It's about going into the discomfort. To embrace in the discomfort as the opportunity to learn, grow, innovate, create, transcend, accelerate, excel, succeed. So I have declared a no waiting zone in my business. I saw many businesses who did not. In fact, they went into the pause mode. And I think it's a huge mistake for a couple of reasons. One is when you hit the pause button, maybe not stop, but pause, we think that the recovery from the pause is like a light switch. Well, if we pause for 2 months, we'll just throw a switch. But what I've learned is that when we pause, the recovery is multiple times the length of the pause, because we've lost all of our momentum. And we need to maintain that momentum in order to keep moving forward. The other problem with the pause is emotional and psychological. When we pause, it causes ourselves and our team to start believe that we were in survival mode. And yes, survival is important, but it's not a mode that we want to lead from or live in. We can make survival decisions as necessary while we keep our momentum going by staying in gear. And sometimes those may be going in gears in different directions. We've heard a lot of talk about pivots. I'm not a big fan, and here's why. Here's what a pivot means. I pivot in a new direction. I pivot in a new direction. I pivot in a new direction. But what's missing is the action that is required in that new action. The steps that we take through our thoughts, our decisions, our day-to-day interactions, our communication in that new direction. So I need to pivot a direction, and I need to move forward that way. That can't happen when I'm in a waiting mode. That's why I declared a no waiting zone. Because since the pandemic hit, let me just give you an idea of the impact on my business, because I'm with you, folks. I'm with you in the fight. I'm a public speaker. 60+% of my business is speaking in person in front of groups and companies. The other 40% or so is coaching. And in March and April, every single speaking engagement I had for the year disappeared, and no new ones were added, which would have always happened during the course of the year. On top of that, my number one coaching client put us on a COVID pause. So as of April, my business dropped 75%. And not only that, but the speaking was my primary sales engine to generate coaching opportunities. So I lost a revenue stream and I lost a sales arm. But we haven't stopped. My team has not gone away. I've kept them on despite the cash flow challenges. And we've been creating new programs, new ideas, and they have invigorated me and my team. It keeps us excited even in the challenging days, because it reminds us that not only are we surviving, but we are still here and we have something of value to add. And we are here to figure out new ways to share it with others so they have the opportunity to grow themselves and their businesses. So we're in the mode of, we're going to disrupt the disruption, because when disruption meets disruption, now we have the opportunity to create and grow. And that's what we've been doing. I have declared a no waiting zone in my business and in my life. And as a result, my business is still here and we are moving in a great direction, and we have stayed in gear and we have maintained our momentum despite the challenges. And I personally have been able to navigate this with virtually no stress, despite the reality of the external disruption. That's my encouragement to you today. Declare a no waiting zone in your business. We have no idea how long the tail will be for this pandemic. Is it going to be weeks? Is it going to be months? Is it going to be years? We don't know. But if you're waiting for things to change so your business is better and can get back to normal, stop waiting. There is no normal. Because here's what I know about great things and discomfort. Great discomfort precedes great achievements. Great discomfort precedes great achievements. So lean into the discomfort, lean into disruption, and get shaking your snow globe for your business, your leadership, and your life. Blessings to all of you at the Chatham Chamber. I was grateful to be here with you today, and lead on.
To find the exceptional care you need, you don't have to look very far. At UNC Chatham Hospital, the right team is right here in Siler City, offering direct access to the expertise of UNC Health. We're committed to providing personalized care in a convenient and comfortable setting, with services that include an emergency room, surgery, orthopedics, cardiology, and more. Visit us online to learn more at chathamhospital.org/expertcare.
Carolina Meadows, 35 years of enriching and improving the lives of residents, offering spacious accommodations, lifelong learning, and a continuum of care.
Good afternoon. I'm Indira Everett. I've been humbled to serve as your Chatham Chamber of Commerce Board Chair for fiscal year 2019-2020, and I look forward to serving a second term. It has been an honor to work with our President and CEO, Cindy Poindexter, who cares deeply about Chatham County and serving the community. I'm even more humbled to serve with the dynamic and engaged Board of Directors that you see on the screen now. We've intentionally tried to ensure this board represents all of Chatham County and diversity of thought. I've asked the board to be engaged, and they have risen to the occasion in these challenging times. This year, the board continued the great work of our membership and public policy committees as we focused on adding value for our members. They supported the formation of 3 ad hoc committees, including bylaws, strategic planning, and building committees. And as a result, we have opened a second office in Pittsboro, located at 102 Hillsborough Street, to ensure we are ready to meet the expansion needs of the county. And the board further supported the creation of 3 new committees to ensure our organization continues to build upon a solid foundation with measured goals and objectives. Those committees include finance, board development and governance, and racial equity and equality. I am certainly indebted to the committee chairs for ensuring that even in these unique times, meaningful work has started and will continue in 2021. In fact, the work we began on the Chamber's strategic plan, utilizing the expertise of Executive Service Corps consultants, will help us regroup and bring forth a 3 to 5 year vision that will propel us well into the future. Also of note are the wonderful events that the Chamber still managed to hold this year. First, Leadership Chatham continued to grow with 25 participants enrolled and 5 on the waiting list. In September, we had a wonderful Chatham development briefing that was virtually done for the first time. This event proved to be a success with 170 attendees, featuring economist Michael Walden as our keynote and several panelists, all addressing the varying economic challenges we are facing this year and projections for the future. Then in late October, we held a successful fundraising golf tournament with 115 golfers, the largest tournament to date. Recently, we surveyed election candidates for Chatham County, which helped inform our members on where candidates stood on important issues affecting the county. We also partnered with the Chatham News and Record to bring the community the first edition of the Chatham Life magazine. If you've not seen it, you're welcome to pick up a copy from the Chamber office. And of course, all year, the Chamber has kept members and businesses informed about grants and funding opportunities, along with other pertinent information during this COVID pandemic. As you can see, this Chamber has continued to remain busy and evolve. Even in these challenging economic times, we gained new members and have been able to hold our own. We know together we will come out stronger in the days ahead. I'd like to say thank you for your continued support. You are the Chatham Chamber of Commerce. We will now begin with the 2020 awards presentation with James Jernigan presenting the Small Business of the Year Award on behalf of BB&T, now Truist.
What do I do when my love is away? Does it worry you to be alone? How do I feel at the end of the day? Are you sad cause you're on your own? I can't find a little help from my friends. Oh, I'm gonna try a little help from my friends.
The owner of our Small Business of the Year graduated from Greensboro College with a degree in business and economics. After experiencing the loss of his grandmother, he found himself working a summer job for 2 years at Halloween Funeral Home. He followed a different career path for a few months. His desire to help families in their greatest time of need led him to pursue a career as a funeral director, and he enrolled in the Funeral Service Licensee Program at Fayetteville Technical Community College, graduating in December 2014. Lyle Donaldson was fortunate to serve his apprenticeship under the leadership of legendary Mr. Tommy Bridges at Bridges Cameron Funeral Home in Sanford. But he always had a desire to return home and serve the people of Chatham County. In 2015, the dream of owning his own funeral home in his hometown became a reality when Mark Higgins sold the Pittsboro location of Halloween. Lyle Donaldson, a young man that grew up in Pittsboro, purchased Halloween Funeral Home in August 2015, returning this long-standing business to local ownership at the young age of 26. Lyle is a 7th-generation business owner in Chatham County. In just 5 years, Donaldson Funeral Home and Cremation has grown by right at 40% in the families they have served through traditional burials, cremations, offering pre-planning and supporting the community through sponsorship events. The goal of everyone at Donaldson Funeral Home and Crematory is to treat everyone as family and help navigate the road of grief long after losing a loved one. Donaldson Funeral Home and Cremation is proud of the addition of their new on-site crematory the first and only one in Chatham County, allowing a loved one to never leave the care of Donaldson's professional staff. Lau has a wonderful, caring team of employees, including Mitch Jenkins, Allsay Funeral Director, an apprentice, and several funeral associates. The success of the growing business can be attributed to each one of Lau's valuable employees. Their reputation in the community exemplifies what they do on a daily basis. Lau is a lifelong member of Hanks Chapel, UCC. He serves as a board member on the Funeral Service Education Advisory Board at Fayetteville Technical Community College, as well as a board coalition member for the Chatham Orange Grief Oasis Support Group in Chapel Hill. Donaldson's Funeral Home and Crematory is a member of the Chatham Chamber, and Lau Donaldson is a member of the Rotary Club of Pittsburgh. I proudly present the Small Business of the Year Award to Donaldson Funeral Home and Crematory. Mr. Lau, would you like to have any comments?
I don't know what to say. Thank y'all. Thank you, Mark, for giving me the opportunity and believing in me. We have been very fortunate. As Aaron mentioned, our business has grown drastically. April 2nd, I received my final inspection from North Carolina Board of Funeral Service for my crematory. And as Aaron mentioned, we have also had the only human crematory in Chatham County. There is a pet crematory in Silco, but we do have the only one here, so your loved one is always in our care throughout the entire cremation process. Thank you to Mark again. Thank you to my parents, all my staff. I couldn't do it without them. So thank you. Congratulations. Thank you.
All right, and next to present our Distinguished Business Person of the Year Award, Tony Cash.
The gentleman that is about to receive the next award is a true example of a distinguished business person. He is employed as a human resources employee and community relations manager for Mountainair Farms of North Carolina, and is the driving force behind many of the community outreaches of Mountainair in Siler City and in the local area. Mountainair Farms is an outstanding community partner that donates to many causes. Among them are the Chatham County Sheriff's Shop with a Deputy, Chatham Literacy, holiday meals for community members, benefits for family members due to serious illnesses, scholarships for youth, scholarships for events, and numerous other causes. Mark Reef is a compassionate, intelligent, and professional business leader. In addition to Mountainair Farms' responsibilities, Mark is also the Siler City Rotary President and is a member of the Chatham Chamber Board of Directors. Reef is a strong community relations and communications professional with a Bachelor of Business Administration focused in marketing from the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville. He studied at St. Mary's University School of Law in San Antonio, Texas, and has an advanced professional degree from the University of Michigan. Mark is an experienced employee and community relations manager with a demonstrated history of working in the food production industry. He is skilled in negotiation, operations management, team building, labor relations, and labor law. Mark Reef was employed 21 years as the Director of Human Resources for General Foods Corporation, which is now Kraft Foods Corporation. He served as the President of Reef Group, Inc. Mediations and has been with Mountainair Farms since 1998. Way before Mountainair Farms opened their doors in Siler City, Reef had his feet on the ground and was out and about in the community, meeting with leaders and the community at large. He pushed scholarships through for needy causes and was always on alert for ways to address the needs of others. He fit right into the community of Siler City with his friendly and personal demeanor, making you laugh without having to say a lot. Reef's desire to get to know people was not only for business purposes, but because he cared and wanted to make a difference and help the community thrive. It is my honor to present the Distinguished Person of the Year to Mark Reef. Congratulations. Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you very much. I wondered why when I said, let's see what you're saying, he grabbed it out of my hand, and I thought, boy, he is really picky about this. I do want to say that everything that he just said about me is true. And I have thoroughly enjoyed, especially being here in Chatham County. It is an absolutely wonderful community, wonderful place to be. People are extremely friendly, and it's very easy to conduct your business, and especially in human resources and in community relations. So I appreciate being recognized for this, but really I couldn't have done it without the people that are here today with the Chatham Chamber of Commerce and the rest of the managers and officials and elected folks in Chatham County. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you very much.
At Duke Energy, we're already building a more intelligent and innovative energy future with smart meters that give timely alerts so you can adjust your energy use, and the control to pick your own due date so you can budget wisely. Discover new ways to save energy and money with smart meters. Just another way we're building a smarter energy future.
Now I would like to ask Mark to present the Young Professional of the Year Award.
I would like to talk to you about the Young Professional of the Year Award for 2020 with the Chatham Chamber of Commerce. The Young Professional of the Year, the Young Professional of the Year, is a true leader. He looks out for his clients, and he looks for avenues that will help them maximize their income in this case. And I have been told that if you want to verify that, just ask any of his clients. He's trustworthy, professional, reliable, transparent, and he has excellent communication skills. And he's a role model for other young professionals. He served as a Chamber Ambassador since 2018 and is a member of the Young Professionals Group. He's a graduate of Leadership Chatham. He volunteers for Chatham Literacy and is now the president of the Pittsboro Rotary Club at the age of 27. In his role as a volunteer for Chatham Literacy, he works to increase literacy rates in Chatham County, helping to bridge the gaps and give the community members an opportunity to be as successful as they possibly can. In his involvement in the Rotary Club, he helps to address challenges in the community and the world. As a Chamber Ambassador, he helps out at events, welcomes Chamber member businesses, and assists in many other areas. As you can tell, Williams is incredibly involved in the community as a young professional. As a native of Pittsboro, he returned to his community to give back what he received while he was in this area. He's a professional, he's hardworking, and he carries a smile on his face wherever he goes. Eric grew up in Chatham County before going to the University of North Carolina in Greensboro for his undergraduate degree, and then he began his career with Edward Jones soon after graduating and by attending the Financial Advisor Career Development Program in St. Louis. He started serving clients in January of 2017, and he successfully opened his own Edward Jones branch in Pittsboro in late 2018. In 2019, Eric received the Accredited Asset Management designations. During Eric's free time, which is not a lot, but during his free time, he enjoys being outside on a hiking trail or in his garden. He likes reading a good book, he likes listening to music, and he likes spending time with his family. Eric is very deserving of this Young Professional of the Year award. He stands out amongst the crowd of professionals. As someone once said, he is the most impressive person I think I've ever met. I'm pleased to present the Young Professional of the Year award to Eric Williams. I don't have it. Where is it? Oh, I'm sorry.
I really appreciate that, Mark. I need to find the person who said that. I can promise you I didn't pay them anything to say that. I'm shocked to hear those words.
I said it.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you so much for this reward. This means a lot to me. There's several people that I'd love to start off by thanking. First of all, Cindy Poindexter here with the Chamber and her staff for running these events, for creating commerce here in Chatham County, and certainly a person that I look up to a lot. Certainly appreciate it, Cindy. Next up, I want to thank my folks, my parents. They raised me here in Chatham County. My dad taught me a lot about integrity and hard work. My mom, as a social worker, taught me a lot about compassion and listening, and I really appreciate that. Lastly, and very importantly, I want to thank my clients. It's been a tough year, I think, for everyone. It's been an interesting year for the markets. A lot of job changes, a lot of life changes, and we've had some difficult conversations this year, and I just really appreciate you putting trust in a young professional. Certainly folks out there that may have more experience than me, and I don't take that lightly. So thank you so much for this award.
And now I would like to welcome Indira Everett of Duke Energy to present the Citizen and Service Award.
Thank you, Mark, and hello again. It is my pleasure to announce the Duke Energy Citizenship and Service Award. This award recognizes someone that has made a noteworthy contribution to the community above and beyond the norm. It is a tribute to an individual who makes a difference in their community by using their time, talents, and compassion to positively impact the lives of others. This year's award recipient is the epitome of service and commitment in her workplace and in the community. People are amazed at her compassion, commitment, honesty, energy, and the love she gives all her students and others. It takes a unique level of compassion, passion, commitment, and interpersonal skill to successfully fill the role of a communities and schools Chatham Student Support Specialist. It is difficult to imagine someone who has accomplished more and performed the role more effectively than our award recipient. Her unique ability to reach families and maintain relationships has been extraordinary. At the core of her work are her students and the families she serves. She has dedicated herself to making a difference. She sees herself in her students and has the canny ability to push all the right buttons. She has brokered an extensive list of supporters and sees potential in every child. Jasmine Mendoza Sosa has engaged and educated school staff in many critical topics to improve school climate and community relations, including work on Chatham County Schools, Equity and Excellence for Everyone team. The team's mission is to support students in reaching their potential by advocating for social justice, eliminating barriers for diverse populations, and utilizing culturally relevant resources while ensuring equity is embedded in all areas of the district's culture. Jasmine continually identifies and maximizes existing opportunities and finds innovative solutions to new challenges, often exceeding existing standards and expectations. In Hasmin's spare time, she has expanded the opportunities for her students by co-leading the Chatham County 4-H Clover Creators, spending hours every month connecting 4-H members with leadership and skill-building opportunities. This is one of the only bilingual, bicultural 4-H clubs in North Carolina. This year, Hasmin earned the Chatham County Outstanding Volunteer Award for her tireless work with the club and Chatham County 4-H. Her impact is felt far beyond the walls of Virginia Cross Elementary School. She is a highly respected person throughout Siler City and the Chatham County community. It is my honor to present the Duke Energy Citizenship and Service Award to Hasmin Mendoza Sosa.
I want to thank everybody for this award, especially Duke. I want to say that this is a work of a team effort. I would say that I wouldn't be here without the support of the families I work with, the time and compassion they give to me. Also for my family being patient. I think just working all the time or volunteering, often that means sacrificing some family time. So I want to thank my parents, Alicia Sosa and Librado Mendoza, for all the patience they have, all my family, my students at Virginia Cross, my co-workers at Communities and Schools of Chatham County, and the support I get from my co-leader 4-H, Michelle Wright, and everybody who is there every day to support me through the tough times. So thank you.
Now I'd like to bring up Cindy Poindexter and Erica Sanders to present the Ambassador of the Year Award.
I appreciate the opportunity to present the Chamber Ambassador of the Year. This ambassador has been an ambassador since June of 2019 and has volunteered for assignments many times since. He's always willing to lend a hand and has quickly become a team player and an asset of the ambassador team. He's demonstrated his professionalism, leadership, and how valuable he is as an ambassador. Kevin Odell grew up and attended college in upstate New York. He moved to North Carolina in 1989 and worked for North Carolina DOT for 10 years. During this time, he finally became a true North Carolinian as he learned to comfortably say, y'all. In 1996, Odell became a professional engineer. He worked for the city of Durham as the street maintenance superintendent for 2 years. Kevin's been employed by Summit Design and Engineering Services since May of 2001. He is currently the North Carolina Regional Construction Services Manager for Summit. Patrick Cummings, Vice President of the North Carolina branch of Summit, sponsored this annual meeting as a chamber partner in honor of Kevin and offered the following comments. Kevin remains a valuable member of our Summit team, a leader of our firm, and a champion for Chatham County businesses. His focus on the economic vitality of Chatham County, his home, and the increased visibility and advocacy of its members, his friends and co-workers, is being recognized with this award. Thank you, Kevin, for your commitment in the communities we serve, enabling our employees and clients to succeed together. And on behalf of the Chamber, we thank you for being part of the ambassador team, for always putting your best foot forward, for representing the Chamber well, and for helping us serve our Chamber member businesses. We appreciate you, and it's our pleasure to present the Ambassador of the Year Award to Kevin Odell.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for those kind words. I'll thank Patrick later. It's really been an honor and a privilege to be part of the ambassador group. It's been a lot of fun. It's created a lot of opportunities for myself. And I want to thank Cindy and Erica for making that happen and organizing and all the work that they do. And I want to thank Summit for supporting me in this venture and the Chamber. Thank you.
Thank you. I would now like to welcome Indira Everett with Duke Energy, who is also the board chair of the Chatham Chamber of Commerce. She will be presenting the Board Leadership Award. Just a few words about Indira. Indira really hit the ground running when she took over as our board chair. She's really pushed us and stretched us to do the best for the Chamber and has the Chamber in her best interest. Now, Indira, if you'd like to present the Board Leadership Award.
This is the first year we've given a Board Leadership Award. This award is given by the board chair to an outstanding board of directors member. It is my pleasure to present the Leadership Award to a person that has always been my advisor and a constant source of support. When I needed her to chair a committee, she said yes. When I needed her to set up our executive performance survey, she said yes. When we needed a place to host our economic development briefing safely, she and Chatham Charter said yes. When we needed someone to moderate the economic development briefing panel, she said yes. When I needed her to draft revisions for our bylaws in conjunction with the work of other committees, she also said yes. So today, we say yes to Beth McCullum for her outstanding service to the Chamber. Her leadership is simply invaluable. Her award reads, Leadership, one person can make all the difference. Beth, on behalf of your fellow board members, I say thank you and congratulations.
On behalf of all of us at Fidelity Bank, we are proud to present this year's Distinguished Business Person of the Year Award.
As a local community bank based in North Carolina, we take pride in providing exceptional customer service as we help local businesses and families with all of their financial needs.
From our branch in Siler City to our new office in Pittsboro, our team is committed to being a vital participant throughout Chatham County and ready to show you what it means to be right by you.
We'll start the panel with Jennifer Gordiano, who will be our moderator. Jennifer attended Central Piedmont Community College for dental assistant and practiced for more than 10 years. She first became interested in real estate after buying her family's first home. She remembers the feeling of excitement when receiving the keys to her new place, and that's something that she enjoys when she sells a home to others. Jennifer's goal as a realtor is to make sure that she meets her clients' needs regardless of what stage they are during their real estate search. Gordiano uses her real estate experience to ensure that every home buyer and seller is provided with excellent service. Jennifer lives in Pittsboro with her husband, Jesus, and their 2 daughters. Please welcome Jennifer Gordiano.
I was born in Chapel Hill and as the first child of Justo and Norma Soto. I have 4 siblings. We were a typical immigrant working family. Like most young people, after high school, I did not know what I wanted to be. But I did know it was important to have good grades in school and to learn to get along with others, since no one can do anything by oneself. After college, I married Jesus Gordiano, and I have 2 terrific daughters who are both in elementary school and love to dance at one of our local dance studios. In 2006, I attended the dental assisting program at Central Piedmont Community College in Charlotte, and I worked in that field for more than 10 years. While working in the dental field, the thought of being my own boss, the freedom to work for myself and around my family always crossed my mind. So finally, in 2014, I decided I no longer wanted to work for someone else. And with that decision, I went back to school and got my real estate license. Establishing myself as an entrepreneur was challenging. In 2016, with the help of my mentor, realtor and auctioneer, Lonnie West, I joined Chatham Homes Realty and my real estate career began. Before going into real estate, I never really appreciated my hometown of Pittsboro. I come to embrace all the businesses that essentially make this town function. I was able to see the town through a magnifying glass and realized how it takes everyone to come together, from the banker, the restaurant owner, gym owner, automotive shop owner, the builder, painter, inspector, etc. The list could continue to go on, and now I was going to be a part of the equation. Contributing to this town I call home by helping people find a house that they can make it into their home is one of the most rewarding feelings. I joined the Chamber Chatham Young Professional Group in 2017. I was amazed by all the young people in this group, lots to whom were like me, just beginning their careers, while others were already well established and successful. I was able to make connections to not only assist my clients, but for my family as well. The support and services are inevitable with this group of entrepreneurs. If you are a young professional that is interested in participating in the group, or if you have an employee that are, you can contact the Chatham Chamber for more information. In 2018, I became a graduate of the Chatham Leadership Program, in which I learned so much about my county. I was also named one of the top sales producers of my firm. This was my second year in real estate. Last year, I was presented with the Young Professional of the Year Award. I was in awe, not to mention another Top Producer Award for 2019. So, as 2020 approached, I was in full blast to take it on. However, not everything goes as planned. During the current pandemic, real estate is considered an essential service. Although we've had several significant changes in the way we offer service to protect our clients and ourselves, we were able to adapt and continue to essentially the same level of operations. I like to think of all various groups that I'm affiliated with as family. My actual family, of course, my church, Graceville Church, my daughter's schools, co-workers at Chatham Homes Realty, and the Chatham Chamber of Commerce, along with the Young Professional Group. Because together, we can make life much easier and functionable. And now, we would like to hear from our panelists. We have Josh Esnard, Antonio McBroom, and Ashley Glover. We will start with you, Josh. Tell us a little bit about yourself and about your journey to becoming an entrepreneur.
Thank you. That was a great story about your life and perseverance that you just told. I appreciate the Chatham Chamber of Commerce for giving me the opportunity to share my story. My name is Joshua Esnard. I'm 34 years old. I consider myself an inventor and a talent search specialist, I guess you'd say. I was born in a very small country named St. Lucia to very young parents. And my story went, my dad was cutting my hair as a little kid, and I got sick of all his buzz cuts. And I picked up the trimmer and started to cut my own hair as like a 13-year-old. And, you know, little kids trying to cut their hair is not going to turn out really good. So I ended up looking like a cheetah with bald spots all over. My dad being very creative, coming from a lower economic background, he had to make his own toys as kids. So he always instilled the creativity mindset in me. So I decided to make my own invention as a kid to help me cut my own hair. Ended up getting these perfect edge ups and lineups in my haircuts by making this template tool. Didn't really think I had anything for many years. And then 6 or so years ago, I decided to patent my tool, which created a company called The Cut Buddy. And 3 months later, we went viral with about 10 million views on one of our influencers' videos. And my little invention from a problem I had as a kid had become a #1 bestseller and ended up getting me on Shark Tank, where now I've partnered with Damon John, and our product is in all the Walmarts and many major stores. So, my story is just about perseverance. Keep trying, solve your problems, and come up with a solution.
Antonio?
Yeah. So my name is Antonio McBroom. Very humbled to be here. I'm a country kid from Chatham. I was born and raised down in Golston, big city, and that's where my journey began as a young entrepreneur. I ended up attending UNC Chapel Hill, and when I was going to college, I had responsibilities with my family back in Golston. My grandmother who raised me, she was getting older and really needed me to still contribute at home. So I started thinking out of the box, and I applied for a job at this little ice cream shop. I've always been an ice cream connoisseur and loved McFlurries and all things ice cream. So there was this Ben & Jerry's on Franklin Street. And when I was applying, they said if you get hired, not only do you get paid, you get some tips, but you get a free milkshake every shift that you work. So I signed up immediately. And that began my journey with Ben & Jerry's. And I fell in love with the company. I fell in love with that company, and ended up becoming the youngest owner-operator in the company's history when I was a graduating senior at UNC. It was instilled in me young to kind of really change the trajectory of generational wealth. Real estate is one of the key things that you do in America. So, I had uncles who just instilled it in me. It's one thing they're not making more of, and it's dirt. So if once you get your few dollars, invest in some dirt. So I had a mentor who's also from Chatham County. His name's Eric Taylor. He's a few years older than I am, and he went to NC State. That's the only bad decision he made. But he's my best friend, mentor, and so he and I always were kind of thinking alike. He had taken me under his wing when I was younger. He was the first African American salutatorian from our high school, Chatham Central. And he showed me the ropes so I could be the first valedictorian. And so we just always had that kind of big brother, little brother relationship. So with that said, he and I started investing in real estate at a young age. And so since then, we've become real estate developers and Ben & Jerry's franchise developers throughout the Southeast, from North Carolina, Georgia, Texas, Florida, Tennessee.
Ashley?
Hi, good morning. My name is Ashley Glover. I'm a Chatham County native, and I'm happy to be here this morning. Thank you all for having me. My story begins about 3 years before I was born. My mother lost her twin brother in a car accident. Subsequent to that, she lost 5 family members in a house fire. A year later, she was at her grandfather's funeral, and her dad had a heart attack and died. This was in 1988. In 1989, she met my father, and they had me. My mother never had any health care. She never had any mental health. She never had any therapy. She never went to counseling. She had me, and her life began to spiral downhill. She left me and my father when I was 3 years old. She started drinking heavily. Alcohol was her substance of choice. My mother died when I was 12 years old from cirrhosis of the liver. At 13, my dad remarried. My stepmother beat me and CPS missed it. At 16, I dropped out of high school. I was determined not to quit. I went back, I got my GED, and I enrolled at Central Carolina Community College. I finished at Alamance Community College with an associate's degree in criminal justice. I wanted to go into BLED, but law enforcement's not where I was headed. I was headed to Campbell University. I graduated magna cum laude from Campbell University with a bachelor's degree in social work. I went on to work for 5 years for Johnston, Lee, and Harnett counties as a child protective services social worker. In all that time, I only sent one family back home, and I knew that I wanted something better. I eventually went to law school, And then I graduated with my master's from Campbell University in clinical mental health counseling. I now own and operate Chatham Counseling and Wellness to provide counseling services to the people of Chatham County.
Thank you, Ashley. Josh, as an entrepreneur, how do you navigate through crisis situations?
I just want to say that it started raining when you told your story, so it was beautiful. I was tearing up the whole time. It's beautiful. Congrats for your success.
Thank you.
Now I have to stop tears and giving this answer. Navigating through the pandemic has shifted a lot of mindset on entrepreneurship, basically, and also from those who have the 9-to-5 job, now they have to innovate. I think how I would navigate through the pandemic is I would put away the thought of just working for somebody and just being part of that normal everyday wheel doing the same thing. Now we have to start thinking about addressing our problems. Every day when you're at home in the pandemic, you have a problem. So if you write down your problems and you're able to come up with solutions to life hacks, maybe you found out that the ice cream scoop is not working efficiently at Ben & Jerry's. You come up with a new design. This ice cream scoop does not work efficiently. You write down those problems, come up with a solution or a prototype in your own house with household goods, and then you protect your idea with a patent. What that enables you to do is to make royalties or save or protect your idea and basically become financially free from an idea that you had when you were stuck in your house. Kind of like the cut buddy. I had to cut my own hair, and that's the problem that I solved.
Antonio?
I mean, in the spirit of what Josh was saying, when this pandemic started, this crisis started, I really embraced the wisdom of Winston Churchill. He said, in times of crisis, bad companies fail, good companies survive, but great companies improve. Mm-hmm. And that's what I really instilled into my entire leadership team. And so we doubled down on our main bets. And our main bet is our human capital and human resources. So our stores were closed for 2 months. And it was like, in the ice cream business, it started in March. That's when our sales season starts, so it was really tough. But when we were closed, rather than kind of sit on our hands, we did a ton of leadership development and kind of self-awareness, mental health building, so that our team, our key leaders, would make it through this stronger. And whenever we got to the end of it, we would actually be improved. So I think that was kind of key number one for us was just being committed to improving during this time of crisis.
Thank you, Antonio. Ashley?
I think now more than ever before, mental health needs to be addressed. We have kids at home that are, going crazy because they can't play sports. That we have, parents that are together now more so than ever before. We have divorce rates increasing. We have, families falling apart, and we're having to learn new ways, and we're having to be innovative. And so for me to come out and after I graduated from Campbell, I decided to open my own practice because we need it. Mental health is needed more so than ever before. And I think to be an entrepreneur in this time, it's a time that we need to be out there, and we need to keep going, and we need that perseverance. We need to keep being determined to keep, our services going, especially, therapy. We need therapy. We need counseling for, individuals. And so through this pandemic, I've said, I'm going to keep going no matter what. If it takes the board 6 months, that's just what it's going to be because my services are needed. So ultimately just that drive and determination to keep going because I know that there's a need for mental health out there.
Thank you, Ashley. Could you provide one suggestion on how someone can become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so the simple answer for me is literally just document all your problems and your complaints. If you start a question with, how come I can't, or why can't I, what if, why is it that, that is your brain actually trying to figure out a solution to a problem. So just document those questions. A lot of people stumble and say, oh man, I can't grow a company with an invention. And that's the problem. They start thinking way too big, the end goal, before they even start with a problem statement. Literally write down the problem. When you're on the toilet or in the shower or when you have downtime, start thinking of some solutions and then protect your idea. So that's what I would say as just the main tip for being successful as an inventor, at least.
Thank you.
Love that.
Antonio?
Yeah, I think for Josh mentioned problem. For me, it's about passion. I think that's your passion score is your entrepreneurial score. And I find that, the entrepreneurial magic happens when you find the intersection of passion with what you're actually pretty good at and what you can command some value for. And you find the intersection of those three things, and that's where entrepreneurship is birthed. But it hedges on the fact of you need to be able to tell people, pardon my passion, but this means this much to me, I'm this committed to it. I think that's the separating factor between really successful entrepreneurs and those who don't make it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and to pick up on what he said, definitely find what's out there for you. If your calling is cosmetology, go at it full force. Develop those new hair products. If your calling is to run a restaurant, do that. To find what your calling is and to find what your journey is, and then to hold committed to it. Fully embrace it. Fully embrace your story, and allow God to lead you. Allow your light to shine, and then you'll be blessed with opportunities as long as you keep persevering and as long as you keep going. That's my story. I kept going, and I keep going. No hurdle will stop you if you have that perseverance within you, and just allow yourself to be a beacon and allow yourself to shine, and you'll make it.
Thank you so much. And now for the last question. What have you done to move the community forward, and what accomplishment are you most proud of?
Okay. I guess there's two ways I've tried to help the local community. Is mainly education. Since now that I've licensed patents and I've gone through the whole gamut of retail and stuff like that, what I've done is devoted a lot of my time to UNC, Duke, a few community colleges, and I've also picked up mentoring a few inventors around the way. So I'm working with a gentleman in Dunn who just had no idea how to launch a product, and just it being local touched me right. The other way is spotlight. So if I continue to get spotlight, let's just say the news stations or HDTV filmed the show with me recently, I always make it a point to spotlight someone else that needs that hand to get into the spotlight. So when we were shooting the show, I made sure that we shot a scene in Postal Fish Company to give them a spotlight that they probably wouldn't have gotten and had to pay a lot for. And the last part of it was what? Sorry.
What accomplishment are you most proud of?
My son. Just having a son. That's the most important thing. I can die happy now.
Antonio?
Could you repeat the question?
Sure. What have you done to move the community forward, and what accomplishment are you most proud of?
Yeah, in terms of advancing our community, I think education and mentorship is the key. That's my mom was an educator, so she instilled that in me, and so I spent some time teaching and being an entrepreneur. And then, as I focused my full energy and efforts on my business and entrepreneurship, I've ingrained that same kind of teaching spirit in my business. And so we have an internship program that we do. There are a ton of folks from Chatham County who actually work for me, even though our locations are in Guilford County or Wake County or Orange County. So we've got an affinity close to heart to young developing leaders from Chatham County, and that's kind of the key contribution I want to continue to leave, is just offering opportunities and offering information, knowledge to our people. When I think about accomplishment most that makes me most proud, it's really the early legacy that I'm leaving. I've got the same way that I had a mentor who kind of brought me up. I've got a younger business partner who runs our Atlanta business, and I've got an even younger business partner that runs our Houston business, and it's kind of the each one reach one. And I've got two lovely children who they already are at age 5 and 10 are adding value to the business, and they come in and do their different little parts and offer sprinkles on the ice cream, and to me that's what this is all about, is just continuing to create a legacy.
Thank you, Antonio. Ashley?
So the thing that I'm most proud of is to come back and to serve my home county. I left Chatham County for about 10 years, and I could have went to Cary, I could have went to Raleigh, I could have went out of state to provide, psychotherapy services, but I wanted to come back here to be able to serve my hometown, to serve the people here. There's not many private practices located in Siler City. I think there's Daymark and maybe one other, but I'm one of the first to come back here and to be able to give local residents a place to come, a place to feel safe, to be able to tell their story, to work through their life stressors. And that is really important to me, to be able to give back and to be able to serve my local community.
Thank you. Josh, Antonio, and Ashley, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to UNC Chatham Hospital's new state-of-the-art maternity care center. We are excited to bring compassionate and expert maternity care to Chatham County. With modern rooms, labor support, Spanish language services, and much more, we're here to tailor a personalized birth experience that is right for you and your baby. Learn more at chathamhospital.org/baby.
As our annual meeting comes to an end, I'd like to certainly thank our event host today, Chatham Park. I also want to thank our presenting sponsor, Chatham Hospital, and program sponsor, Carolina Meadows, for leading the way. We also thank all our award sponsors, Truist, Duke Energy, Fidelity Bank, Summit Design and Engineering Services, and Mount Air Farms. Without you, today's event would not have been possible. I'd like to also thank our awesome speakers and panelists. I encourage you to check out all these businesses and participants as they roll on your screen. Please show them your support by patronizing their businesses or engaging them for your next event. And last but certainly not least, to the best board ever, I am indebted to each of you for making my job as board chair so easy. I look forward to the great things we will do together in the year ahead. As we adjourn this meeting, I pray you continue to stay safe and well. Have a good evening.